It took 5 different rescue agencies and more than 2 hours of searching before Coast Guard officials finally located the 2 divers. Sheriff deputies have been out here for several hours tonight. Right now, they're actually combing through the property. They're looking through the grass, looking for shell casings to several bullets. Carmen says the driver actually made a complete stop at the stop sign. The driver actually made the turn, but instead of continuing on the road, it ran directly into their house. So they just pulled the car out of a shallow body of water just a few seconds ago. It's the red Corvette that you see over there sitting on top of the tow truck. 3 cars have been damaged, and last night one neighbor lost almost everything inside of his home. The physical damage, well, that's been done, but it's the emotional trauma that's going to be even harder for this community to overcome. Well, it took about 4 hours to finally locate this 4th boater, and as you said, unfortunately, he did die tonight. Talking about Global Service and Pro Center, they claim to have 10 million happy customers, but the people we talked to say they're not getting what was promised. It all began with a trip to his mailbox. Inside, Frank Tulo found a postcard.
Free airline tickets, that's great. I mean, that's the hook right there.
All he had to do was sit through a sales presentation for a discount buying club. His neighbors, Gunther and Yvonne Sass, got an invitation too.
Anything that you wanted, they could get for you at a good discounted price.
This is undercover video the NBC2 investigators took during a presentation in Fort Myers. The salesman promised discounted prices on cars, furniture, appliances, and vacation packages. They claimed to have agreements with Sears, Kirby Vacuums, and Carnival Cruises, just to name a few.
And I went right in with it.
Tulo liked what he heard, so he paid $2,999 to join. The first thing he wanted to buy with his membership was a flat-screen TV.
When I had ordered that TV, I ordered it because this TV here had literally blown up.
That was 3 months ago. Global Service says their supplier can't locate the TV, so Frank's order was canceled.
For $3,000, I got this right here.
As for the Sasses, well, they didn't join, but wanted those complimentary airline tickets, so they mailed in the $29 processing fee.
And then we get back a notice that they wanted another $100.
That's when they decided to quit, before they lost any more money. After 2 weeks of intense searching, NBC2 linked Global Service and Pro Center to other discount buying and travel clubs. These clubs share addresses in Florida and Texas and are run by many of the same people. Our search also found more than 100 complaints across the country. The attorneys general in Ohio and Indiana took action against the companies operating there. Are you like the manager?
Yes, if you'd like an interview, you can put it in writing, please, and there won't be any cameras. Thank you.
Our written requests were ignored.
So how do you explain the number of complaints that have been filed against you guys at the Attorney General's office?
You can put it in writing. Have a great weekend. Please turn the camera off.
So we decided to take our stack of evidence to state officials to get answers. We wanted to know why this buying club could do business in the state of Florida.
No agency has enough people to look into everything. There's just no way.
Until we put the pieces together, state officials had no idea that Global Service and Pro Center were linked to multiple companies. What can the state do to keep companies from popping up under different names after they have so many problems?
Nothing. That's the problem.
Answers simply not good enough for Tulo and the Sasses. They want the company shut down.
You've just given us some more red flags, and we'll certainly be taking a look at them.
That brings some comfort to Tulo, although every trip to his mailbox, still a painful reminder of the money he lost.
And no sign of the TV, no.
And the television that may never come.
From what I'm hearing.
Now, we contacted several of the companies that Global Service lists as business partners, including Sears and Carnival Cruise Lines. All of the companies tell us they have never heard of Global Service nor Pro Center, and they don't have agreements with them. Carnival Cruise Lines has even launched their own investigation.
I've waited so many years for this day to serve the people of God.
I always felt called to serve God, even as a little child. It was to serve completely and sacramentally.
They call themselves servants of God, and they're joining the ranks of more than 100 women around the world.
The institution doesn't accept us, but the people do.
This is the first ordination of women priests and deacons in Florida. They're taking positions that, by church law, are reserved for men.
The house of our God.
Judy Lee is leading the charge to change the Catholic Church in Fort Myers.
We have a great deal of love going on here.
But before becoming a priest, the Diocese of Venice sent her a warning.
Bishop Frank Duane, yes. He has written me 2 letters, one before my diaconate ordination and one before my priestly ordination, warning me of my immortal soul, the danger to my immortal soul. My immortal soul has never been better.
The Diocese of Venice is following the Vatican's decree denouncing female ordinations. In a statement to NBC2, the church says it has no authority to ordain women because Jesus only called men as his apostles.
That contradicts 1,200 years of Catholic Church tradition. For the first 1,200 years, we had women deacons, priests, and bishops.
Bishop Bridget Mary Meehan oversees the southern region of Roman Catholic women priests.
We are obeying the Spirit rather than obeying the church law. We are disobeying an unjust law.
It's saying because you are a woman, you cannot serve in this position.
For their disobedience, the Vatican is excommunicating them.
We do not accept the Vatican's excommunication because we are following our conscience and obeying the Spirit of God.
As these women celebrate their spiritual elevation, the diocese calls this a sad day for the entire church, saying these services create division. But Meehan disagrees.
I think this is going to have a galvanizing effect of bringing people together back to the Catholic Church.
While these women realize their quest for equality will be a long spiritual battle.
Just as Rosa Parks inspired the civil rights movement by refusing to sit in the back of the bus, I think that women priests are leading the way for the Catholic Church.
They fight with faith that equality will overcome.
It's hard work.
Pat spent a good part of her day surfing for answers, trying to find out how her entire life ended up here.
I don't know where it came from.
With a visit to Google and just a few keystrokes, she found her social security and credit card numbers posted for the world to see.
I just had no idea. Shocked.
She may be laughing, but figuring out how to erase it and who put it there has been a headache.
I actually went into it and tried to copy, and I was going to cut it, try to get my information off there, but you can't.
Pat isn't the only victim. We found 17 others from California to D.C.
Does the numbers 647264 ring a bell to you?
And that was through PayPal, and my PayPal account got compromised.
Frightening. It's scary.
Stacey Payne with the Lee County Sheriff's Office says the economy has fueled identity theft.
They need to be checking their credit report once a year.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office has a unit dedicated to seeking out local cyber criminals. But in Pat's case, the ID crooks could be overseas. That means the Secret Service or the FBI has to get involved. So it's back to the keyboard to file a complaint with the National Internet Crimes Complaint Center.
I feel like doing now is getting on the computer and taking away everything that I have logged on with a password, canceling it, getting everything back to paper.
Investigators say Pat and others on the website could all be connected through online purchasing or a hacking scheme. It could just as easily happen to you. Once exposed, the best advice, regularly research yourself to stay ahead of the internet thieves. It's been 3 years since Melissa Gunderson's brother Matthew died. Now, for the first time, she has some comfort because the men she believes responsible are behind bars.
They don't realize how many families they've destroyed.
She's talking about North Fort Myers pharmacist Ahmed El-Hazad and patient Von With, both arrested for trafficking oxycodone. Investigators say the two men were wrangled into a prescription drug ring by Dr. Ephraim Aguilar. He was arrested Tuesday near Las Vegas.
A lot of people have died because this man, it was about the money.
Investigators say El-Hazad would fill excessive amounts of prescriptions signed by Dr. Aguilar, and Whiff got 245,000 roxycodones from the doctor in just over a year.
I don't understand how that's possible. I mean, where are the laws that stop that?
Gunderson claims the pharmacist and the doctor fueled her brother's addiction after he crushed his ankle at work. She says the doctor gave her brother prescriptions monthly that included 280 roxycodone, 180 oxycodone, 100 methadone, and 90 volume pills.
My brother was also shooting them up.
She says the family called Dr. Aguilar to tell him Matthew had a drug problem, and that wasn't his first warning.
The hospital wrote Dr. Aguilar a letter letting him know he was abusing the drugs, and nothing changed.
Now she hopes justice can ease her family's burden.
To where he never is able to prescribe any kind of medication to anybody. That to me is justice.